Okay. Where are we? There we are. Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Love Talks with the Garcons, where love speaks.
And we listen.
I am Irvin's Garcon.
I'm Ann Garcon.
And we are just so excited to be back here with you guys tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not sure who is here already. We cannot see you. But if you are here on the live, and you can hear us okay, just say something, react, do something so that we know that you are coming.
Let us know where you're watching us from.
Yeah, man.
We'd love to know and engage with you.
If it's from the living room, is it the kitchen? Are you in your car?
Are you in New York? Are you in Jersey? Are you in Delaware? Are you in Haiti?
Say something to us. Say hello so we know that you guys are able to hear us properly. Hey, Tamar.
Tamar.
All the way from Florida, the beautiful Sunshine State. With the crazy governor, but nonetheless, we digress. Thank you for joining us, Tamar. Claude Mar, how are you?
Hi,
from
Claude
New York
Mar.
City?
NYC in the building.
Yes, yes. And as you guys are coming in, just go ahead and also share the live with at least five people. Because we got a hot topic tonight. Hot topic.
Hot topic.
Hot topic.
My uncle used to say hot topic.
Yes, yes. And we want everybody to be a part of it. As you guys know, you are our third audience.
Third host, bro.
I always keep saying that. And we need you guys to chime in on the topic that we're going to be discussing tonight. As you may see in your titles where you're watching us from, it is a sex episode.
Let's talk about, baby. Let's talk about.
Sex episode.
You sound too loud.
Sex episode.
Talk about sex.
Are you guys able to hear us okay? Tamar, Claude Mar, those who are here, good afternoon or good evening, Instagram. Let us know if you can hear us okay as well. Yeah, we just got to do better. We need to get like ear monitors, but that's a different story.
But I'm sure they can hear us. Can you guys know one said they couldn't hear, so I'm sure they can hear.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you're coming in, let's go ahead and just share the live. We've missed you guys. We haven't been able to come on live in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since we've been in here. And so we are super, super excited to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you, Claude Mar. Thank you for the affirmation. How you been, Garcon?
I've been great. I'm excited about tomorrow.
What's tomorrow, Ann?
Tomorrow's a big deal. I graduate tomorrow, guys.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
She's walking down. Did you iron your thing yet?
No, you got to do it for me tonight.
No, absolutely not.
Irvin's is an ironer in the house, so like, why not?
Or steam it. Okay. Yeah, guys, go ahead and share the live. For those of you who are here already, share the live. We're going to get started in just a couple of seconds as this counter goes up, because we definitely want to make sure that people are here. We want to set some people free tonight.
Come on, talk about it.
Sex, but in a way that has never been, that you probably have never heard it being spoken at already before. And you have a question from Claude Mar. She said, congratulations. What are you graduating in, from, on, to?
By, with,
over.
Special education. So I'm certified birth to 2 now.
Yes.
Yeah, so
we're proud of her.
Thank you, Claude Mar.
She did virtual school. That could not have been easy, but she pulled it through. And she did it. And we're super proud of her.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So go ahead, guys, and share the live. Let me just do that right now as well.
I just shared. My head was down, guys, because I was sharing as well. So
let me do some more sharing.
We're going to do another 30 seconds of sharing, and then we're going to get started. Because you guys came one time, so we need to just get it on and popping with y'all, okay? Mm-hmm. Popping bottles. Hey, thank you, Anderson.
What's up, Brody?
Popping bottles indeed.
Yes.
Bottles of water.
Oh, please. Stop flying like you don't drink. You got a pineapple crush on BBQ.
Extreme lightweight.
And it was not lightweight.
And I
was not virgin. So let's not front. Yeah.
So guys, we want to thank you once again for joining us tonight. And we want you guys to remember, as we are engaging in conversation, your comments really do help us, right? We don't proclaim or profess to know everything. We don't know it all. we just share from our perspective, our experiences, and we love to hear other people's experiences as well. And I'm sure those people, everyone in the comments section, will be able to learn from you as well. So
just give me about 10 more seconds. I'm just
just want to say Herb never called me to say goodnight. I don't know if you guys saw Ernst's thing.
Yo, wait. First of all, I didn't call you. I thought about calling you too, but I know that you and your wife have a rule. No technology, no phone after 9 o'clock.
He did actually say that. He did say he's going to call you in.
But you guys says that you have a rule. No phone out.
So those of you who don't know, Ernst was calling all his guy friends and saying good night. Portion of them. A couple of guys and saying good night. And I guess it's like a thing. Guys can't say goodnight to each other.
No, you can't say hi. You can't say hi. You can't say hey.
They were cursing him out, telling him I was gay. Like, get out of here. Like, what the heck you doing? It just wasn't. It wasn't it. So,
it was hilarious.
Is that your barbecue?
Yeah. Gee, Gary, what's up, man? Congratulations, Gary. Gary's engaged, man.
Tell me that.
You would have to sleep.
You didn't tell me that. I'm so happy. Oh, I just hit my thing. I'm so happy to hear that, Gary. Congrats.
I'll be in that chair. Gary was like, nah, I'm never getting married again. Never.
Oh my
God. Never, my youth. Never.
So happy to hear that.
And now he's engaged.
Are we invited to the wedding?
I need a free haircut for that wedding. Get me a free cut.
Put me on blast, like.
Yeah, I'm happy for him though.
That's beautiful. I'm really excited.
Gary's been my barber now, and Owen's barber since Owen's first haircut.
Okay, we gotta start.
Owen's first haircut was by Gary. So congrats, man. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Let's get started. All
right, guys. So this topic is sex, right? The sex episode. Like what we were taught, but what we should have been taught, right? Yeah. Or what we were told, but what we should have been told.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, sex has been a taboo topic in church. Hey, Herb, I tried calling you this morning to say good morning.
That's Patrick. Patrick called me this afternoon talking about good afternoon.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work out.
Nighttime is when, okay. But anyway, for as long as I can remember, it has been a taboo topic. And growing up, all you hear is, don't do it.
Don't have sex.
Oh, somebody says still is. It still is, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't have sex.
Hey, Goretti, right? How are you?
And all you hear is don't have sex, right? Nothing else attached to that.
Just don't do it.
They just don't do it. And so I think what that did for, and I'm going to speak personally, right? And I'm going to also be very transparent as well. I feel like what that did for me was not that it sparked curiosity. It didn't. Entirely. It didn't entirely spark curiosity, but I always wanted to know, like, okay, well, you do it. Why? Like, no, like, because it was always a negative connotation to it. Almost like,
I don't want this sex. Just wait for the bus.
It was almost like it was a negative connotation to it. Almost like sex is bad and you never want it or you never should do it until you get married.
Yeah.
But why is it only bad? Why is it only good when you get married? Right. And I think that's the missing piece. That's the piece that wasn't really explained much. It was just, don't do it, stay away from it, because if you do it, you're going to hell. And it was just like, whoa.
Yeah. I think they focus so much more on the purity aspect of sex, but never really prepared people for marriage. Even the singles right now, they were not having a conversation about sex and what it's supposed to have been about. A lot of people in church was having sex, period. Whether or not the purity message was happening, whether or not the pastor was saying don't do it or go to hell, whether or not they were saying as Christians shouldn't be engaged in sex, the abstinence message was being preached. But people were still engaged in sex.
Yeah. And it was never about it was never really like, why not to? It was just, and I think the why piece is the biggest part.
Right.
Because if you knew what goes into sex, right? Two people coming together, like merging souls in a sense, then I think knowing the dangers of doing it before marriage would have been a little bit more helpful for a lot of people who kind of went in.
Gary said he was never told that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So in church culture.
Yeah, we are talking from a couple perspective. There's a church culture aspect that impact us as Christians, but then there is other aspect in terms of preparation for when you do get married. The conversation was never had.
Yeah.
People know how to have sex, but people do not know how to have sex, if that makes sense. You know how to have sex. You know, you insert your penis into the woman's vagina, and then one of you probably bust or come. Usually is the men, not necessarily the woman. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and how to do it to make sure you can get an orgasm. But there's a lot of things that come into marriage and sex that we don't really doesn't get talked about. And especially from the church perspective, because a lot of our followers are church, and I'm sure you guys have heard the don't have sex before marriage thing. But what part of it? What is the preparation before marriage? I still remember when Ann and I were engaged, I asked a pastor or someone about oral sex. Is that allowed? What is that all about? But the things are just so taboo that they don't want to talk about none of those things.
And it's more so from a cultural perspective as well. Sam just said, I didn't learn sex until I got into junior high school. My mom just said, don't let anyone touch you in your private area. So we never really had the talk about the birds and the bees, right? They call it the birds and the bees in like the American culture. In the Haitian culture, I don't know what they call it.
Les oiseaux et le miel? I don't know.
What is that? What do you call bees?
Bees are miel.
Oh, okay.
Sea wolf miel, like
sea wolf is honey.
Yeah, it's from miel.
Oh,
sea wolf miel, right?
Oh.
You just learned something today.
But yeah, like you never really had the talk. And I also feel like it's not that they didn't want to have the talk with us, but some of them probably didn't know how to have the talk.
Yeah.
Right. And church was all about rules. And like when a kid is presented with so many rules, honestly, like you are kind of wired to want to like break some of the rules or kind of go against. And some people were feared into like not doing it. So like a lot of people not necessarily didn't wait because they felt they should have. They were afraid that they were going to either go to hell, blah, blah. But we want to kind of share a healthier perspective on sex.
What we should have been told.
What we should have been told and how we should have been told it for those who are still like in the waiting stages and like how you should actually view it. Because sex is not a bad thing.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. It was created by God for enjoyment, right? And so when you paint in such a negative picture or negative light, it really puts shame on sex as opposed to like the beauty. So
when we think about sex and families and church and culture, we have three different things happening, right? We have the church. So if you're a church person, you can testify that it's very silent. Is very fear-based, purity culture. If you guys remember back in the 90s, when they used to have like those purity rings and those vows that people made, that's all I remember about sex in church when growing up in church. There was really no conversation about the enjoyment part of it, right? Even watching our family members, our grandparents, y'all have sex? Because it's like there's no romance, there's no connection, it's just stale and dull. Right? So you have nothing coming from the realm of the church if you're a church person. But then when you look at society and culture, you see the opposite. Yeah. Right? You see hypersexualization, instant gratification. Everywhere you look is sex in the city, sex in the country, sex in the field, sex in the valley. Sex when you come and when you go. Sex when you come. Pause. I didn't even do that. Sex when you come and when you go. We're sex. We sexed in the city. We sexed in the field. Right. So you have two different extremes, right? And then you have a third component of it, which is parents. It's awkward we're hypocrites because we really haven't had the real conversation with our kids.
Not necessarily.
We've alluded to it.
Yeah.
We've alluded to it.
Okay. So because they're in, okay. So like, I think especially because that you're like, we know their whereabouts all the time. So we know they're not engaging in it as yet. Mm-hmm. God forbid. But we've had the talk, but not in depth far as like, okay, I have said, even with Melody, I have said, you don't ever let a man or a boy touch your breast, touch your private part.
That's the same thing she just talked about.
But tell me why? Because what does it do? It arouses you, and you can eventually start doing something that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
We never really got into depth with it, so this is a really good, practice for like how we're going to approach it with them.
And then you also have the component of what's the thing called? Contraceptive. That's the other thing too. We tell people, we have all these young people who are getting pregnant in the church.
Yeah.
Forced to get married because sex still exists. They're still doing it out of fear. And then they get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because we're not also telling them about abstinence, but we also don't talk about contraception.
Right.
Because we feel like it's a sin to even mention that, or is giving a green light for people to go about and have sex.
And that's the thing, like, you're not giving them the green light, but you're like saying, just in case, like, you want to be smart. And I know it's a really complicated conversation to have. And almost like people might be like clutching their pearls. Like, would you say that? You know what I'm saying? But like, if you have a promiscuous teen that's engaging in it, and like they're like made up in their mind that they're just this is just what they're going to do. What do you say? Stop? They're not going to stop. So what do you say? Listen, okay, then you need to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? These are like real conversations that you should be having.
We've had that conversation with our kids too. We try to show them both sides. Kathleen said on Instagram.
I just use contraceptions?
The existence of it.
Oh, the existence of it. I didn't tell them use it.
So Kathleen said on Instagram, it's a lot of them thought that if they talked about it, it will encourage the behavior, but research has shown the opposite effect. And she also said, I didn't even talk about getting a period, right? So those are just say, keep your legs closed, and that's all. I had no idea what she was talking about. Just keep your legs closed. Yeah. If you guys, those are you guys who are in the comments right now, can you recall when was the first time you ever had a conversation about sex with either a family member,
a youth
clergy, a youth leader? When was your first conversation about sex, if you can recall? Personally, I grew up, my mom was Haitian, so I don't even ever remember having that conversation about sex at all, right? And so we are not just going to be focusing on how you raise children and things of that nature. We do want to get into learning about intimacy and what that looks like. But it's also very important for us to go backwards so we can change the narrative, so we can change the outlook on sex, right? Kathleen says she never remember ever having a conversation about sex. For those of you guys on Facebook and YouTube, do you guys recall the sex conversation at all with your family members or anything like that? And let us know, right? Because I know one thing for sure. I remember if you saw my post on Instagram, when it comes to sex, one of the things that we definitely heard growing up in the church, it was never talking about the beauty of it and those things, right? So it was... So we have a responsibility to make sure that we are doing it. So the message that we used to get growing up, it's number one, sex is bad.
Sex is
dirty. It's dangerous, right? It's as dirty as you want to make it. That's what I come to find out.
But it really is, I mean, it's in the... Out of the covenant of marriage, sex is wrong. I want to just kind of lay that on the table for those who are believers, right? We can't talk to those who are unbelievers, right? Because they're just going to do what they want to do. However, as a believer, sex out of the context of marriage is not godly. It's not biblical. And so, but that doesn't make it bad. That doesn't make it dirty, or it doesn't make it dirty. You know what I'm saying? I think that because, and I wish this is what they would say. Instead of saying, don't do it, right? But talking about the what happens when two people come together in such an intimate way, right? And how connections are made, like soul ties are made. How you're becoming, you're almost becoming one. You know what I'm saying? Like a transferring of even if you do use contraceptives, there's still this oneness and intimacy that's developed when two people engage in like sex. Is like it's very personal, you know what I'm saying? And so like for people to just do it with this person and that person, this person and that person, and not feel some type of tie to that person that they did it with, it's almost impossible. You know?
And it's his first curiosity. My first curiosity was probably around 6th grade, around the time Monica Lewinsky was happening, because I had no idea what oral sex was about. And the adults, the adults I asked refused to tell me. Right. So it's there. It's out there in the public.
And if the church is not going to talk to you about it, and
your friends going to educate.
Your friends will educate, and they will tell you and tell the kids, your kids, what you really don't want them to say.
And Sandra said this. Don't do it made it worse. Oh, when you say don't do it, it made it worse. That's when the youth want to experience it more. That's what I saw growing up in the Haitian church. I think what happened is, like, when you tell somebody they can't have something, like I mentioned earlier, they want to try to have it more. But imagine if the church spoke about sex in its beautiful context.
And like, oh my goodness, what you have look forward to.
Right, the sanctity of it, the beauty of it, the purpose of it, the design of it, right? So we went from sex is bad and dirty. So instead of actually being told that, if we tell people sex is sacred. You know, it's for connection, and it's not for shame. But instead we heard the opposite, right? Another slide that we put up on IG, it talks about how wait until marriage and it'll be perfect. Wait, you laugh a little too hard at that one.
Because then, you know, honeymoon night.
They didn't know that. Wait until marriage and it'll be perfect. But what's actually true is waiting is wise, but it doesn't magically erase shame, trauma, or misunderstanding, or ignorance. Ignorance on how you're supposed to perform it, right? And what you're supposed to do when you're engaged in sex. We were also told that purity means avoiding sex. What's actually true, purity is not repression. It's about alignment, integrity, wholeness, even after mistakes.
And purity is not just the absence of the action of sex, right? It's like purity is like even in mind and thought, right? But I think a lot of people, even with their purity rings, they're wearing these purity rings and like, I'm not having sex, but I'm watching pornography, right? But I'm, but where like, he's touching my breast, but I'm not going all the way. He's putting in the tip, right? So like purity was just made to see as if I don't do the exact act, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's not really what the idea of purity was.
And the other thing that happened with purity is if somebody look up and had sex, oh man, you felt so much shame, not realizing there's restoration even then, right? So even with that comes trauma, right? And so the other thing we were told is like sex, if you have desire, is dangerous.
So like now you're having all the not that it's dangerous, but it's hard, but it's bad. You're not supposed to have it, right? And it's like you growing up as a young person, like you have feelings, like you get horny, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not really feeling. And so you think something is wrong with you, and so you don't say anything to anyone because you feel like you're probably the only one that's experiencing these feelings because you shouldn't be having it. And so now everyone is just quiet. No one is sharing their real struggles. And so you kind of do things in secret. Because if I tell my youth member or my youth leader, I'm a sinner, right? They're going to look at me as an outcast or a black sheep.
When in actuality, those desires are God-given. God placed them there, right? We're supposed to steward it the right way to engage in healthy intimacy. But nonetheless, these are from God. They will also tell us, like Kathleen said earlier on Instagram, that don't talk about sex because it will lead to sin. right?
Right.
But actually, what we need to do, avoiding the conversation, lead to more confusion
and curiosity.
And then, so if we're having an honest and open conversation about sex, that brings about clarity and healing. So that's what should be the aim and trajectory on how we engage in the sex conversation.
Yeah, the conversation should be open and honest. It should be, and it should also come from a place where the person that is leading the conversation can share from experience. Like people, like honestly, growing up, I didn't think any Haitian adults had sex before marriage. I thought they were all perfect. I thought they all, waited until they were married because they were the way that they demanded that we stayed a virgin until marriage. It was like, okay, not that I didn't want to stay a virgin until marriage, not that, but I feel like if I had, okay, now you guys know I wasn't a virgin when I got married.
Petit pasteur.
Stop, don't do that. And it was a really tough conversation because now how am I going to have a conversation with my soon-to-be husband about this when he is actually a virgin? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I had no one to even talk to about how to prepare me for a conversation like that. I had no one to really kind of walk me through kind of restoration, because even in our conversation, it was hard for me to share it because like I felt ashamed. I felt dirty. I felt like, I felt unworthy in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing that, God was able to restore, because I didn't get that, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like a tough period having to go through. And I feel like if there was more of like mentoring these younger women and younger men, giving them like the real deal, like, this is why you stay away from this. This is why you wait. Not just saying, don't do it. This is that, but having real conversations and sharing your experiences to know, okay, well, this is what happened to me when. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, Marsha, when I was in high school, my mom told me, neg active fils et gasoline ak alimet. Meaning boys and girls or men and women, it's like gasoline and matches.
Yeah.
So if you light it up, you knew what's going to happen. And Sandra, thank you for this affirmation. It was this conversation when I was young. Yeah, so I'm glad that we are doing it. We are doing it tonight. So transitioning a little bit to another aspect of the sex conversation, right? When you are getting married, or when you get married, or when you are involved in a relationship or communication, or in any kind of in a relationship, right? We have to be very mindful about messages that people received about sex. Depending on the kind of message you receive, the experience that you've had about sex can be a traumatic effect on your relationship, right? I think in God's wisdom, he knew what he was doing to say, marriage should be between one man and a woman. Because the other thing that happened in terms of in your relationship, let's keep saying marriage. When I say relationship, I mean marriage, because we are believers that marriage is the only place sex should be happening, right? But we're also not naive.
Yeah.
Right.
People out
there doing it. And it is what it is. Right? We're not condemning you. Neither is God. Just do what you got. Do what you got to do, and do it in the right context. Right. But another killer in relationship are those experiences. For example, girl meet guy, they fall in love, they get married, they're engaged in sexual intimacy. Boy who met girl has met all these other girls before and have a worldwide level of experience in sex. Boy who now met girl and had all these other girls that he's met now expect girl to do the things that all these other girls have done.
Right.
But these are things that she's not used to. That in itself can be a current traumatic experience in that relationship, in that marriage, right? So when you are getting in a relationship and you've been sexually active for a very long time, and these are the conversations we are not having, how do you bring that into your current marriage, especially expecting for some of those things to happen?
Right.
Let's even think about it in the context of porn. Porn is acting. Porn is acting. Several takes, pauses, resetting of lights.
Yeah.
But because that's what your teacher about sex has been,
Yeah.
you come into this relationship expecting for your partner to be able to perform like a porn star.
Right. You have these unrealistic expectations because you have an idea of what it should be, or you start to compare your past experiences to the person that you're with. And it's unfair. It's not fair to that person to try to live up to this expectation that you have, that you've conjured up, that it should be the norm. It's just not fair. Also, how early it's too early to even have a conversation about sex and relationships. Like, should we even be talking about it? When should we talk about it? I've learned through, experiences with, talking with people, that when you don't talk about it, you're setting yourself up for whatever that person's idea is, even if it's something you don't agree with. Like, if this is something that he's into, but because you haven't spoken about it, now he's expecting you to do this. It's like, bro, but I don't like it this way. I never, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that. So having the conversation, even in a relationship, is important about like what expectations are, what your experiences with it is, even what you said, like what you've learned about it and how you view it. That's so important in relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it also, I think having the conversation, because you have some people who feel like there's a big thing right now that happened in culture, not necessarily the church, but I guess both. People who find out someone is a virgin, and they're like, oh, no, I gotta stay away from that. Like, you are running away from the virgins even because you feel like there's an experience that they don't have. You don't know what they're going to be bringing to the table. But the thing about sex is, I think there's this fear, like, how do I know if I don't sleep with this person before, how am I going to know it's going to be good? How am I know they're going to know how to perform? But it opens up a bigger conversation. What kind of conversation are you having in your relationship?
Yeah.
Are you able to communicate some of those things that I don't like this? I like when you do this. I like it when we are doing this thing that you did. I didn't like it. It didn't feel comfortable. Felt awkward. Are you open to feedback? Because we are seeing all these things because we had to go through that when we first got married. Like,
and you have to be open to learning this new person. Like, you have to waiting it out and trusting that it's gonna be good. That's kind of like the mentality that you should have. Like, not saying, okay, I need to experience, like, what they say, why buy the car if you can't? Why no?
Buy the milk.
Not
why buy milk?
Why no? Why not? I'm not going to buy no car if I'm not going to be able to test drive. That's what I'm trying to say. But because sex with a different person is going to be a different experience. Right. And especially the person that you're married to, you're learning them. Like, you have a lifetime to really learn how to please one another, how to cater to this person's needs. And like Irvin said, having that dialogue about, okay, what is working, what is not. And it's okay to express those things, to have that open and honest conversation, because we're in this for the long haul. So I'm going to have to be comfortable and pleased in this marriage. And like, so I feel like, because women have been, when we were growing up, we have also been kind of told that we have to just kind of be available for him. Like, we just gotta, make sure ufe toilet de bawa, like wash up at nighttime and just be ready at all times. But that also is not okay. Like, because now it seems like not slavery, but like, bro, like, I have to always be ready. Like, what if I don't want to do it? Right? Like, do I have the right to say no? All those conversations like need to be had even before you enter into marriage, so that there's not this idea of, okay, this is my duty. Yeah. Like, this, we have a duty to one another. I don't just have a duty to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I think growing up, the women were kind of told
because it's
to just kind of be ready whenever he needs it.
Yeah, because the thing about it also, it's my duty to please that booty, you know? It's my duty to please that booty. And so for that booty to be pleased, I must know what this booty needs, right?
You must know what this booty needs. And sometimes this booty needs a break.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but isn't that true though?
Only for fasting and prayer, and you only do that for a short time. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
You don't agree with the Bible?
The Bible didn't mean it that way.
No,
No, because I even heard, so like, let's say, because even this, okay. Let's say a woman is coming into a relationship, right? Filled with sexual trauma. And now knowing that it was her right was taken.
Thank you, Anderson.
Okay.
So if you ain't fasting or praying, that booty's give me that booty.
So I guess I'll be fasting and praying all day.
Wow.
But let's say, her right was taken from her.
Mm-hmm.
So now when she comes into a marriage and her husband just expects her to just be ready whenever he's ready. And if she says no, then he like catches an attitude. It's almost like I don't have a right to say no. Because now you're upset. Now you don't love me. Now I'm a horrible person. But even in marriage, guys, this is tough. Like, just because one party is ready doesn't necessarily mean
why are you pointing to me though?
No. Doesn't necessarily mean that the other party is ready at the same time. And I think conversations like this, even in marriage, needs to be had. Like, babe, like I understand that he's like, some days I'm like, okay, babe, this is just for you. Like I
definitely give in that. There are times where when it's time for us to have sex, there are nights where like she knows I want it, but in her mind, because a woman is the mind that's also involved with it. She's not really there, but like, babe, just do what you got to do. You know what I do as a man? Okay. I'm not gonna say, hey, babe, I feel that you're tired.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes no, but if you say just do your job, I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm gonna go and do what I have to do. Right? But there are also times when, because we have this conversation all the time, and part of sex, one of the things that the church, remember, they tell you all the do's and don'ts, right? All is a shame, this and the third.
All the don'ts.
But they don't tell you the build up into intimacy. They don't tell, hi, Belinda. I think it's the first time I've seen her here. They don't tell you the things, the build up. They don't tell you intimacy doesn't just start when you get in that bed. They don't tell you need to flirt with your person, right? So there are times when we go to bed and like, dang, I want some, but in my mind I'm like, oh, I didn't do the pre-work. And I can tell Ann is tired, but the fact that I didn't do the pre-work and I know it's not going to go anywhere, I don't even engage. And it's not to say she's going to say no if I engage. I don't like no. I don't do well with rejection, guys. So even with Ann, I think she knows this. I think we spoke about this before. Like, sometimes I'm not going to engage you if it's going to be a no, because I don't want to feel rejected. So even in marriage, in relationships, you can cause your person to feel rejected in this context of sex. Have you ever heard that in church? Have you ever heard that anywhere? So rejection still exists. Even the person could be legitimately tired, or they did not do the brain work. brain work tops. Right? But the brain work wasn't done for the person to be ready. So legitimately it's going to be a work and a build up. But the fact that they're not there and they can say, babe, I really cannot do it. That partner can feel rejected.
Yeah.
So to prevent the rejection, we must do the pre-work.
This is for those who are married.
Yeah. To do the pre-work, you must also have a communication about what that looks like.
Right.
Do you know what turns your partner on? when you are married. When you get married, do you know what turns them on? And for some people, it has nothing to do with a physical thing, right? It could be something that you do for them. Like, and I know I was seeing these things and it feels funny. Like when I saw memes or GIFs, whatever, the video memes, memes called, if it's a video, what's it called? Is it a meme? It's a meme. I see meme where the dude or real, they playing like genuine opponent thing. And then the video is just a guy just washing dishes and looking at his wife, right? Because it's an act of service that could get his wife or his partner there ready to have sex, but we're not having those conversations. I know Ann liked those little sweet messages throughout the day, right? But we text every single day, and it's always something relating to the family or relating to our businesses, our ventures, or checking in on something we're supposed to do. But is the message I'm sending is, hey, how you doing? I can't wait for you to get home, and those type of things.
And that's not just for Anne. That's for women in general. Women, right. Like, if we understood the way like we're wired, it would be. I think sex would be more successful in
the
rate of it would be right? A lot because more successful. Like you said, women have to kind of like mentally tap in as opposed to men who just kind of physically have to, so there is some work that has to be,
and that's a key word, right? We were watching a podcast, and when you tell a partner, I think it tends to be more so the man, that there's work involved for you to get that booty. Excuse me. Even you're married, so there's work involved. Like work, you're supposed to just be giving it to me.
Right.
And it's a foreign concept for you to have to put in work, which is that buildup.
Because you automatically feel like it belongs to you.
Yeah.
Like, this is mine. So when I request it, I need it.
And although it might be yours, it's a one-sided session because the person is really, like I said, my wife, I'm thankful she's really, even though there'll be time when she's really not into it, she'll say, babe, I know you want it, do your thing. Like I said, so I got no shame in my game. I like, all right, then that kind of helps. I don't have to do foreplay. No foreplay needed, because she should say, do your thing, Irv. Right? And so that tends to be a beautiful and fun thing with us. So doing the pre-work, and Anderson, you got it, man. They don't tell you this build-up thing. We don't talk about the build-up. Pre-work is so true. You aren't taught to do that. We are taught culturally that when a man wants, he's supposed to get it. So when he gets rejected, so it's like it feels like an ego thing. Absolutely right. So for those of you guys who are going to get in a relationship, who are married right now, pre-work is super, super, super important.
And that's really about getting to know your person. Like if you're in a relationship, like getting to know the person that you're with and like what tickles their fancy, like what makes them smile, like mostly with women, right? Men. And I feel like a lot of men are lacking that kind of big brother or mentoring as far as relationships are concerned. Because like you're just getting into these relationships and just kind of hitting it and quitting it. You're not working for it. So like now when you get into a marriage, you expect the same thing when it's a completely different ball game, and so there's this missed opportunity to really pour into these young people as far as sex is concerned, because they don't know. So they're just out here and you're just like spoiling their oats so soon, giving it up to whoever, because they're just like, okay, sex feels good. Yeah. They told me not to do it because sex is not good, but wait, I did it and it feels good. Yeah. So now there's like this confusion, like, hold up, why y'all told me not to do it when it feels like this? That's what a lot of that's where a lot of curiosity comes, because like you're told not to do it because it's bad, but then you do it and it's good. It feels good. But
the thing about it also, not only it feels good, but it comes with something else. It comes with shame. You feel ashamed, especially in the Christian context, because we know we're not supposed to be doing it. And so you don't even go back and try to, you feel unworthy and this, that, and the third,
but
right?
there are even some Christians out here who are just like, they don't have that shame because they feel like, okay, how can this be bad if it feels so
I don't want to call
you
it
know?
shame because I feel like they don't have the
guilt,
that awareness, that spiritual awareness that you should not be doing it because of the fact, but it's something that's sacred, something that's beautiful to be saved for marriage, right? And so that's also very important. I think also when it comes to talking about sex, I know the Bible says the marriage bed is undefiled, especially in the church. You will hear that. They will at least give you that, right? But even in that, when they give you the marriage bed is undefiled, they're not telling you also that there are still boundaries that can be set up in that particular relationship or marriage.
That needs to be.
That needs to be set up because you need to know what is your partner's limit. Right? Again, going back to your experience with your past relationships and or porn and or, the over sexualization of things in our society and our culture, is your partner into that? And if she's not, or she or he's not, that is a boundary that needs to be respected, right? But if you into it, then how do you have the conversation to experience something together that you haven't experienced before, right? Babe, I want anal. First of all, why do you want it?
That's number one.
Why do you want it? Number two, how comfortable is your person with that, to do that? Number three, how do you find that common ground? That's something that you guys both want to experience together. I ain't going to hold you. Our last trip, this girl trying to say, let's try that. Yes. Sister Minister.
Did I say?
Yes.
No, I must have been drinking because I don't know.
You did. Our last them kids weekend, like, hey, babe, over 20 years.
I was joking, babe. Truth
over 20 years. Over 20 years.
Never.
Almost 19 years. We've never done that. It doesn't appeal to me.
It doesn't appeal to me either.
But there are some people.
I think when talking about oral.
Yeah.
Because some people are really into it and some people are not.
Yeah.
Especially some women. They're like, I don't. Oh my God. No, I did not say that seriously though. Seriously,
to the point I had to tell you, and I'm going to sound like such a kid. I had to tell you that based on a conversation with a friend of mine, we don't just do anal like that. There's a prep work that goes into it.
Well, I wasn't being serious.
Well, let me put this back up again.
Oh my gosh! I promise, I can't believe you said that.
But
I promise.
From
because it wasn't a serious. I would never.
From one of my guys, again, anal never appealed to me, but he was saying that there's like some prep work that goes into that. Sam say, okay, I joined at the wrong time.
No,
Welcome,
Uncle,
Sam.
I promise you, I was joking.
Sam, she said that. Uncle Sam is on Instagram.
I don't even remember saying that. I promise, because if I would say that, I must have been joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would never.
I'm not gonna hold you. One thing before I got married, because I got married as a virgin, so I did the holy thing, right? Like I was such a square. I think we talked
that's okay. That's the thing. Like, now let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You are not a square if you're a virgin. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some men, especially men who maintain their virginity. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they feel like they're punks.
I never felt like that.
You just called yourself a square.
That was a square period. You called me a temple boy. You turned me out. Remember, you had a goal to turn me out.
But what I'm saying is, there are a lot of men who feel
Eminem
like
says it's not for the what's not for the weak, Eminem?
Oh Lord Jesus.
Marlena, what is not for the weak?
You know what she's talking about.
And
but really big, right? There are some guys.
Hi, Marie.
Guys,
I jumped on here after Bible study. Miss me?
I'll tell you.
The marriage bell is undefiled, sis.
But let's say for women, if a woman is a virgin, then
good. What is that? Lotion?
My hair oil.
Oh.
If a woman is a virgin, then oh, kudos to you.
Kudos, yeah.
You know, beautiful.
Oh, she's referring to anal.
Yeah. But if a man is a virgin before he gets married, then he's looked up as soft or a punk or somebody that couldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's this double standard, and it's unfortunate that men feel like they have to have like a body count before they get married. No.
Gary said, if she's a virgin, I don't want her.
Oh Lord Jesus! No, but think about it. Think about it, because like when we were dating, you know, and then we had to have that conversation about, you know, are you a virgin? Are you not? I honestly expected.
Well, you know, Sam is on here. He probably didn't even know if you're a virgin or not. That's
Bro, we gone on to 19 years.
Okay.
I honestly expected Irvin's to tell me that yes, he was a virgin.
You expected it, you said?
I expected that he wasn't a virgin.
Oh.
So now when I asked him first and he said yes, I was like, oh damn. Should I lie or should I tell the truth?
And where did this message, I don't know if he felt that way. You could tell the truth if he felt that way. Mm-hmm. Where did this message about, especially if you try to live that Christian life, the holy life, this and the third, but you did not, you fell or you did whatever. So this idea of damaged good, guys, it's not from the Bible. It's not from the word.
Yeah. Because there was no talk about restoration after doing it. There was no talk about, okay, if you happen to fall, God still loves you. You're still worthy. You can still, you know, you're not spoiled oats. There wasn't that conversation. It was just like, you better not, or you're dirty, or you're, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it does something sneaky. And I'm like, oh, dang, now I got to tell him. But I knew that I didn't want to build our relationship from a lie. So I was like, okay, what do I do in these next 5 seconds? He just asked me. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Well, Gary's also from the Caribbean. It's different out there. And here's the kicker. No one said don't have sex.
Wow.
Right? And so when it comes to culture and the church, you know, who's telling you the message? I would really love to have a conversation with people like Gary and other people who engage in sex at such an early age.
Yeah.
What is the impact, quote unquote, it had on you now older, or as you engaged in relationship as you got older, right? Because I cannot imagine kids, and it's happening now, so let's not be naive, but kids who are engaging in sex now, right, at such an early age, how is that, or maybe it's not an impact on you as you get older and you're getting into relationship? Because at that age, are people really ready for that to even understand what you're doing? Right.
It really is just.
Yeah. So you know how to have sex, but you don't know how to have sex. Yeah. You're just really releasing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But go back to anal. When Anna wanted anal.
Irvin, can you please stop? You need to please stop saying that, bro. You need to stop saying that. It's not funny.
It is what it is.
No, I didn't. I don't want that.
I mean,
I didn't.
I mean,
I can't even imagine what that would feel like.
That was like the last F them kids weekend, bro. Tell the truth and
no, but like you got people just saying, "Wow, you can't just say things like that, bro."
I'm just saying.
What we're trying to say is like, I know, no, it was not, guys. Eyes. He's joking. Okay, no, he's lying. Guys, he's lying. Right, their conversation. Oh Lord,
Sam, we have 3 kids.
Calling my name, Irvis. Listen.
Hey, no, but you know what? On that, let's be honest. What is the appeal? If I don't want to put nobody on the spot.
You don't even have to have that conversation. People have preferences.
Eminem says, Marlena says, use the back door. It's a back door.
Lord
Get what you need, sis. Get what you need. I don't understand that is, for some reason, that never appeals to me.
Yeah.
You know, except for the time when wrong one.
He accidentally almost did it.
Wrong one. Like, oops.
I'm like, wait, that is wrong.
Wait, hold on. Let me keep. What?
No way. No, but like that's what I mean about even when you're dating. Like, what are the I don't think we even had a conversation about that when we were dating.
I think we were just on the same page. That's not something that.
No, we never even had that conversation. I didn't think it was a thing. Even you know what I'm saying. Of course, we're gonna have the sex conversation, but like even now, like with all the variety of things that happen in a flipping bed, like you have to have a conversation with your person. Like, okay, when we do get married, like, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from me?
But it's also important to establish trust, right? Because having those conversations also means talking about your past experiences with sex, right? Your experiences, whether they're good or bad, because they're, on that same podcast that we were listening to, it was stated that 1 out of every 4 women have experienced some kind of sexual trauma, sexual abuse, rape, incest, whatever. They've experienced some sort of sexual trauma. So now when you are married, there could be things, especially the things that are undealt with, that could be it could be a trigger based on something that is happening in the moment. So conversation about past experiences with sex, whether it's traumatic or not traumatic, it is super, super duper important that you have a safe space, you have a trusting space to be able to talk about them, to prevent some of those shame, fears, and insecurities that they come with.
I like this comment. So many people having sex before marriage, yet the orgasm gap is what it is. Clearly women are not being pleased. That's a whole nother topic for married people. Because it's so, I really,
see what you just did there. You did what the church did. It doesn't have to be.
No, because I'm going to kind of fix it up.
Because women need to know.
Women need to know. Yes. Women need to know that when you do enter into marriage, that it's not just about your husband getting off.
Yeah.
It's not just, we both got to be pleased up in here.
Absolutely.
Up in here. And so like there's a conversation that needs to be had when you don't feel like you're being pleased. Like, because there are a lot of women who are suffering in silence because they don't feel like they can even bring that up.
Yeah. And just to show you,
or they don't even know that there's this other level of bliss that they can get to in the marriage bed. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's
another aspect of conversation in marriage and sex. Like, I'm not ashamed to say, I don't have to lie on my, you guys say lie on your penis. I don't need to lie on my penis. One thing I even ask Anna all the time, like, yo, what do you think about supplements? And she's like, why? No, I ain't trying to go for no 30, 40 minutes.
That's another thing. You will understand. They don't like.
Because to me, I'm like, okay, babe, I want to make sure that the length, not the length in terms of my piece.
It's just the time.
But the timing of duration, that you also are satisfied. So if it means some, thinking about, it's like, nope, I do not need no 20, 30 minutes.
No, I
feel for you if your partner is a 1 hour type of person.
No, but if you can sustain that,
long time.
If you can sustain that, some people have the libido to sustain that. But I think every relationship is different. And like, if I will say that if I did have an issue with it, then I would be vocal. I'm very vocal about everything. I remember one time.
But Anne also knows how. She knows the how to have those conversations.
Yeah.
When we talk about things in our marriage in terms of the intimacy part, the sex part, there's never a time where anybody feel ashamed.
Yeah.
It's because of the way we actually go ahead and do it good.
And just being so comfortable with your person, like you want to get to a place where you're comfortable enough to be like, even in the act, like, okay, bro, stop doing that. I don't like it. Or stay right there. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like, it's just because you develop this level of communication that it's like safe, you've created a safe space. And so,
shout out to I think Anderson sent that to me. What? See, here's the thing. You need to have guys in your life that you can feel comfortable having these conversations with. Like me and Anderson, we actually had this conversation. Like, yo, bro, I just got put onto this performance thing. He actually sent me it. Like, our guys, I know women are having the conversation, but our men having the guys get mad just because I call them and say good night. I might show you that video.
No, and it's an ego thing too. Some guys feel like they gotta be putting it on, and like you may think that you're putting it on, but your wife or it's like, bro, you're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask, like, babe, are you enjoying this? Like having conversations about if you. Like, am I actually pleasing you? Yeah. Don't get into the habit of just like getting on top, getting what you get, and then getting off and rolling over and going to sleep. You have, not that you've done that, you know what I'm saying? But like, I've heard, conversations, and I've had conversations with people who have been experiencing this, just a man just releasing on top of her and then rolling over and going to sleep. We are not here to just be your
Sam,
what do you call what that you empty out on?
Oh, your release pen or whatever.
Bucket, your release bucket.
Oh, Sam said on Instagram, hey fam, with this Diddy trial, there's freaks and freaks. There are freaks and there are freaks, capital one, right? And it's crazy, but check this out. I work in an elementary school and I hear kids talking about Diddy parties. Because that's in the culture. And they know at that age, it's in the context of sex. But their parents don't know that they know. So it's having those conversations with those kids about, baby oil, and that Diddy could be a whole. That could be a whole.
It really does.
How do you get off by having another man have sex with your girl?
Babe,
and while you sit there,
I can't even talk about it. It gets me really like. I don't know.
But is that
it's
one
not
of
good
those,
for my mental health.
Is that one of those things we listen and we don't judge? We got it.
No. We judging.
We're judging.
We judging here. This is just not.
Yeah. And another comment in the context of men being virgin. There's a stat out there that says about 1 out of every 3 men never had sex or are still a virgin, or they're abstaining, or they're still virgins.
But I want you to know, if you are a male and you are still a virgin, it's a beautiful thing. It's something to be proud of. Like you're holding yourself for your person. Like it's such and we said, sex is such a sacred thing, something to be enjoyed in due time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the due time is the beauty of it. Waiting until like
the beauty and the booty.
Waiting until the appointed time that God has ordained for you to enter into the Holy of Holies. The Holy of Holies.
There's no W. It's an H. HOLE.
Oh, Jesus.
Marlena said she had a conversation with her husband before she got married and after. Is it about the back door, Marlena? Let us know. Backdoor bandits. Martanya said, I don't even want to talk of that talk. Constipation hurts.
Oh Lord Jesus. Right. That's why only I would ever say I was, I used to always be constipated.
Oh Lord. Do they need to know that?
No, I really suffered from that and it would be really bad. So I don't know why I would ever say that, even if I was drinking, Jerry. Like I would never, ever. But anyway, somebody even said like a lot of married couples don't even know how to communicate their feelings to each other about this. Like you have to create a space where you can talk about anything. Well, I'm not going to say anything because there are some things that are just going to be like, that some people are just going to hold to themselves, but almost anything. Yeah. Almost anything.
I don't think Diddy deserve that.
Ooh,
Diddy case.
It
deserve a whole episode. But this is Anderson is right.
Reducing what Diddy has done to him being freaky is absolutely insane. He controlled every aspect of her being intentionally. He did it for control. He paid her bills, control what she did. Yeah. That topic, I honestly like. It really gets me anxious. Like
and people were asking I know granted she's an adult. I think this whole relationship started she was 19. I don't know how soon into their relationship the freaky things started to happen. Jesus. But what was the messaging that she was getting? Or did we just chuck it up? Some people say, well, she really wanted her career as well. So she
But there was also a lack of self-esteem, like a low self-esteem.
She's a pretty girl, and that's a crazy thing.
That's the thing.
I think we said that the other day. Self-esteem has nothing to do with beauty.
Nothing.
Has nothing to do with beauty.
And and she even says things. I don't know why we're talking about this, but she didn't want her mom to find out. So her mom instilled something in her that she was hiding. Didn't want her mom to know. So it's like you have to have these talks with your daughters. Yeah. You have to have these talks with your sons.
Yeah.
My daughter's turning 16. Better believe it. She's about to have a very in-depth conversation because the things that I wish that we talked about when I was growing up is what I know that I need to do for her. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you know better, you do better. Yeah. And I think it's how you frame it also, because it has to be in a digestible way. And you know who's really good with this? Kathleen. Kathleen, I don't know if you're still here, but Kathleen has a way of explaining some of these hard things that adults to young girls, to younger people.
That's dope.
In a way that they can understand it. And so,
if you have young kids, especially young girls, maybe that might be alive in itself. Just so you have maybe a Zoom. That might be a Zoom event for young girls to hear the song. Okay. My son has a little girlfriend, guys. Owen has a girlfriend. He's 14 years old. He has a girlfriend.
He has a friend that's a girl.
He has a girlfriend.
Because I don't think
they have each other's pictures as their screen locks.
Lord Jesus.
Right, and he's 14. I've had to have the conversation with him, especially, not just the sex part, but just conversation that you're having with this girl. Because God forbid, her dad. Look at her phone and you see some of the things that you're talking about, right? Yeah, and he's gonna come after you. Because as a dad, I know I probably would. Right? So you gotta be very, very careful about that. A lot of married people don't know how to communicate their feelings. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you can't even communicate regular conversation, imagine having the tough conversation about sex and sexual preferences. Right? And that's all connected.
I think we make marriage as the means for sex when it's a biological thing. For the world, right? But for those who are in Christ.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about giving that context because
outside the context of marriage, it is unbiblical.
We as believers, it cannot be expected for us to sway away from what the expectation is when it comes to sex and marriage and
there's nothing worse than having experience with someone that probably blew your back out really good, that wasn't your husband, and now that you're married, it's like your husband's not doing it that way, or your wife is not doing it that way, and now every time you have sex, you're thinking about the one that blew your back out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of emotional connection are you establishing?
But also part of it is the fact that there's no trust and safety and.
But how do you even have a conversation about that? How do you even say, babe,
this is what I'm used to. Can we try this? You can't. I think even doing that conversation, I'm not going to say this is what my ex used to do. I think that you are leaving room and space for comparison, for self-esteem.
Just say, I would like to try this.
Yeah, let's try this. This is something I'm really into. This, that, and the third. And so that's very important.
It's like Ruthlin said, so you need to teach them what you like. Really? Like, if you don't teach them what you like, then it's going to be one person is going
because as a man you think you're killing it. You think you're killing it. There was we're just being transparent, right? There was a time where when I would go down there and do what I have to do, and it's so funny. And Sam, I'm sorry for what you're about to hear. This is why conversation is important. When I be down there doing what I have to do with my mouth.
It's so cringy to talk about.
It's real. And I used to clash it, Suli.
Jesus.
I used to like spit on it a little bit. To me, I thought that was so dope. My film mouillé. I'm trying.
Oh my God. Okay, let's not work it. Thank you. This is not a workshop.
I'm making it. I'm making it wet, right? But in her mind, when I did the spit thing, she thought I was being disgusted by her.
Oh my God.
Right?
I don't know why I feel this way. Yeah, and so I had to say, babe, stop.
When you spit it make me feel dirty.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Now, for some people, they could hear that and just feel offended. But again, when we encourage communication in relationships, it also
applies and how you say
no, but also applies in that context of sexual preference. So now to your question, Ruth, as I was talking, I left your question on here because we kind of like touch on it just a little bit. The limit in the bedroom, it doesn't exist. The limit is what you decide is a limit as a couple. Right. Again, if you're a swing on the chandelier type of person, is your person a swing on the chandelier type of person? Are you both into that? Right.
Yeah.
And so that is something that you definitely want to make sure. Speak your truth, King. That is something that you want to make sure you guys are on the same page on. Mm-hmm. Our very first conversation about sex and preference actually started on our honeymoon. While we were during our honeymoon, I was doing something again. I thought it was like, yeah. And then the next, she didn't tell me in the moment.
I went to the balcony first to talk to God. Oh my God, you told me to wait.
Somebody actually agree with you. Spitting is not it. So I guess I thought it was sexy. Yeah. Right. But somebody on IG say spitting on the boo boo.
Oh Jesus, the word. No, but like even so like I was saying, like how you
Sim clarify. I said that to say we can be Christians. We can still have horrible sex.
Talk about it.
For sure.
About it. Because like he said sex is a biological thing. It's not a Christian thing. Like it's like things.
That's facts. Yeah. Thanks for the clarity.
So like when he thought
I hope there are no kids watching with y'all at this point. It's late.
They were all adults here.
Good.
When he's out here thinking that he's like the man and he's like laying it down.
And she's just like, that hurts.
I'm like, hold
up. That don't feel good.
That hurts, number one. Because like we did wait. Irvin and I never had sex before we got married together. And so now I'm like, okay, Lord God, I go on the balcony and like, Lord, I honored you. What's going on?
I thought she was on the balcony because I put it down. So I need some air. I thought she was going to get some air. Sis want to go talk to God, bro.
Like, this is what you made me wait for.
Oh, wow.
And then, and it was just about conversation and learning one another.
And me not getting offended.
And you're not getting offended. And me saying it in a way that wouldn't offend you.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's all these different things that come together to really make where we are now, bro. Mm-hmm. We are doing the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Like if you watch porn, they think pounding, all that pounding work, Pound Town. Again, it's acting. Yeah. It's acting, boys and girls.
All acting. And so like when you get your mind like wrapped up into these fantasies, you set yourself up for failure because there's no guarantee that your person is going to be able to do the things that you fantasize about. And they may not even be into the things that you know what I'm saying? So it's really important as believers.
Yeah. But it's very important. It's very important though when you have these conversations, even if you're dating. I think it's okay. I think we said it before.
Of course, having a conversation
as you're dating, it's. I would say make sure though, based where you're having the conversations, in case a little temptation come in. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You don't engage. But most of the time, these conversations do not lead into temptation. You're just finding out what the person like and setting expectations.
You're not talking about it to do it. You're talking about it to set expectations, right? And you're not practicing either. Right? You're not putting yourself in positions that will cause you to slip. And if you do slip, it's not the end of the world.
It's not.
Right? There is still grace. There is still restoration.
The first time I licked Ann's breast, it was on Good Friday.
Jesus. You were just going all out tonight. You just want to...
On Good Friday. And we have to go to rehearsal after that. Choir rehearsal.
Why'd you let me into your house, though? That's the question.
Why you came to my house? I live in Brooklyn. You live in Queens.
Church was in Brooklyn.
Sis used to take the train to come to my crib, bro. Thirsty.
Because nobody lived at your house. Everybody was at my house all the time. No, but we maintained.
God.
We maintained.
Man,
it
was hard.
And this is the thing, and I feel like
I've had many dirty underwears.
Urban.
Dry humping, bro.
Bro, you are going into it.
I will. All this talking, you better believe I will. Yo,
that's not fair to the singles.
We should do dry humping.
Wait. That's not even what we're talking about. Because what I'm saying is...
It was hard out there for Christians,
oh,
bro.
Lord Jesus.
Being a young Christian trying to live this holy life and abstaining from sex, it was...
I think back then it was harder than it could be now. Because now you know better. You know more about...
Yo, guys, I used to go a train ride from...
You just want to
Wait, I say, babe...
We're trying to continue our lives.
And it's lucky, right? So we would take the train all the way from Manhattan. Because we used to work in Manhattan together. Rode all the way to Queens, because I take the train to Queens with her. And I lived in Brooklyn. And so we'll go to a park. Pizza pasta.
Is my mama here tonight? I don't know.
Do the damn dry humping thing. I need to Brooklyn with dirty draw. Just sticking to my leg.
Oh my God, Irvin!
Hey, but we never had intercourse though.
See, that's the thing. This purity. We were living
pure. Just no intercourse.
Oh, Lord.
We almost fell the last 2 days before our marriage.
Yeah, because it was almost. How did we get here?
What happened was this was during rehearsal. People are flying in for the wedding. It's people everywhere. Oh my God! At Ann's house, there's a whole bunch of people. I think I stayed with her cousins. Like after rehearsal, we were stressed. Like 2 hours. No, 2 days or a day before the wedding. It's like, yo, we just need space. So we went to a motel. The goal was just to chill out.
Just to lay down and
she's like, you want to take a shower? It was her.
Wait.
It was her.
It was hot.
She's like, you want to take? We just came from wedding rehearsal. We'll check into this motel just to have some time.
Let me just say, this is the reason why.
She's bad. She was a pastor's daughter.
We were almost going to be husband and wife. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll be okay. We waited all this time.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just the tip, but I think it ended up being like
it was
one eighth. But Sam said, Sam, I'm glad you brought that up. Sam said you on IG. I remember the no kissing season.
Yeah, so we did go through no kissing.
No, we didn't.
3 hours.
Sam did.
We lasted for 3 hours.
Yeah, I think Sam. How long you guys went without the no kissing?
3 years. 3
years. No kissing in a relationship because they wanted to do the purity thing,
which was a beautiful thing. We tried to be like them.
We lasted 3 hours. Yeah, I think we start to play with fire, right? They say, okay, we're trying to do like kiss chick, right? They say, these sides start to touch each other. 3 hours later, it was a wrap.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much. You're just going in tonight. Yeah. No, but
these are things we wish church would have spoken to us about.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard. Oh, Lord. That it's not an easy thing. And you do get the feeling, you do get the desire. You know what I'm saying? So when he first, licked my breast or whatever, we were just kind of hanging out. We were watching a show, Ricky Lake. Mm-hmm. And she had those marathons where
on the show, she was like, okay, let's see who can kiss the longest. Like on the actual show, couples were kissing, see who would last the longest.
Yeah, and so we thought,
Anna was like, let's try it.
Why it's always Anne?
So next we start to kiss. Next thing you know,
it was always me.
Yeah. Next thing I touched the breast, and next thing you know, the shirt came off.
But then what did we do? We both ran and we cried.
And ran to the room, felt feeling ashamed, and then we
prayed.
And I felt bad for her. We prayed together, and then went to choir rehearsal. We had car wrecks.
But we told nobody.
Yeah.
Right, because there was nobody to tell. Like, how could you say that? Like, you're not supposed to even think about.
At that time,
breast.
Sam in his relationship, they were our like model because they were really trying to do it too. The no kissing
it's
thing.
Always right. Like, you always making it be me.
Yeah, so it was like, all right. It was you. You told me on the train. Why did you tell me on the train? We were riding down from the train. It's like, so would you ever?
Wait.
Don't say it. Tell
No, because I wanted
to.
Because this is the thing. We had to have conversations about like what it is,
the boundaries.
Because the boyfriend that I had before was different than Irvin's, and so I'm like, okay, what would you ever touch my breasts? And he said, Irvin's just like, no.
I did not say it that way. You're a liar. Oh my God.
He said, no. That's a sacred part of your body.
Oh, I suck a square. And I meant it too. I meant it wholeheartedly. It was not a line, nothing.
I was like, this nigga. He's such a dweeb. I was like, okay.
All right, we'll see.
Okay, that's beautiful. But in my head, I'm like, oh boy.
Oh man.
No, but we had to learn the hard way through experience, and that's why when you know better, you do better, right?
Like Eminem is admitting it was her. It's always the girls. It's always the women. Yeah, man.
Right. Yeah, I had the experience. Irvis was more so like a very sheltered, and he was a temple boy. He what? Say what?
I used to say that to Irv. I just never meant it. I'll never touch somebody. Breast thing.
Yeah. So like it was just knowing, okay, how far this is the thing. How far can I get without it being a sin, right? How far can we go with us still being in the bracket of being virgins or being pure?
It's just the tip.
It's just the tip, or you know what I'm saying? Oh, we're just she's just touching my breast. It's not, but what is that doing to my mind? Like, what am I thinking? Like, where am I, where is your mind going?
Yeah.
So, these are the conversations that we need to have.
We never had them.
We never had them because we weren't supposed to have them, because we weren't supposed to have the feelings and we weren't supposed to be doing the deed. Yeah. So now that the conversations are everywhere now, and these kids are just kind of like, they're fed all this information, you want to give them what's right so that they make better decisions.
Keeping a buck, it's Ann, because she had experience prior to you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But not just the kids, but even for those of you guys who are dating right now or in your relationship, there's one thing that you can take away from tonight is when it comes to the sex conversation, have it in a healthy way. Engage it in the proper way.
And be honest about it.
Be honest with each other.
I know, like, there's certain things that you wouldn't, like, you're not going to share. There's certain things that, and you don't have to share everything, but don't act like you were perfect. Don't act like you never had a struggle. Don't act like it was never, it never hard for you to really kind of hold out. Be honest about what it takes to really hold out.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it takes to hold out, then you need to get with someone. Like, we grow in community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grow in accountability. Like, when you have an accountability partner, then there are certain things that you're just not going to do because you have somebody to answer to.
Yeah, man. This was good. The
flesh is weak and it's very hard.
Absolutely.
You're so right.
Absolutely.
And that's why, and this is why the Bible says, walk in the spirit so that you do not gratify the desires of the flesh, right? So you do not fulfill the desires of the flesh. And I speak to that to my, I'm more like you kids about this. I speak to my children about it. When you are constantly feeding your spirit, your flesh is not winning anymore, or it doesn't have the chance to win as much, right? But when all you're feeding is your flesh, your flesh is going to win.
Right.
So that's why that verse really is like the main like verse for a Christian living in this world. Like you gotta feed your spirit, and walk in the spirit so you don't fulfill those desires. Because like you said, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing.
But also on the flip side, I want to encourage you guys to live spirit led, but also having those conversations, getting ready for healthy intimacy, because that is possible. It's just a matter of doing the work, having those conversations, right? Again, I'll go back to dispel some of the myths that was presented. Sex is bad, dirty, dangerous. That's what we were.
I told my son when he became a teen, remember one thing, once you start having sex, you can't stop.
That's like Pringles.
Or not that you can't stop, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
Because eventually, if you really are serious about it, yes, but it's really hard to stop.
Yeah.
Once you start it, like, because it, like we said, it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, but then the shame that comes after it is like, okay, try. Yeah. Do it the right way.
Right. So we were going to wrap up the way we started. We want to tell you about what we were told about sex growing up. And what's actually true, right? Well, we were told sex is bad, dirty, dangerous, but the truth is
not bad.
Sex is
it's
sacred.
Mm-hmm. It's and the context does matter, and it's designed for a connection,
not shame.
Not shame.
We were told wait until marriage; you'll be perfect. That was what we were told, but in actuality, waiting is wise, but doesn't magically erase shame, trauma, or misunderstanding. It doesn't mean that you have great sex either.
Yeah.
We were told purity means avoiding sex, but in actuality, purity is not repression. It's about alignment, integrity, wholeness, and even after mistakes. You can still be pure.
You can still be pure
after
even
mistakes.
Though you've done the deed.
Yeah, we were also told that desire is dangerous.
Yeah.
But the truth is desire is God-given.
God gave you these feelings.
But we need to learn how to steward them to make sure that they are engaged and use them as a key in a healthy relationship or a healthy intimacy. We were told don't talk about sex, it will lead to sin. But in actuality, avoiding the conversation leads to confusion, pain,
and curiosity.
You're not aligned. So a dialogue bring about clarity and healing and help you set healthy boundaries. Right? So
self-control.
Talk about sex. It's okay. Don't avoid it with your children, with your partner, with your even with your married partner, to ensure that you are also aligned. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Jean, Julian, for the comment. And
thank you guys for sharing in the comments. Like we learned from y'all. Thank you for engaging.
Absolutely.
This conversation is a topic that is necessary. Okay. Don't avoid it. Like Urban said, have the conversation. And if you need tools on how to have the conversation, even with your children, like there's so many resources out there. Maybe we'll post some stuff on our page, sharing links and stuff. But
absolutely. Thank you guys. A couple of announcements. If you are married and you are on this live or engaged, or if you know people who are married or engaged, In and I, Love Talks is just one of our platforms, but we are also
Lord, he said one more thing. There's some people who
get married for sex.
Married for sex. Yeah. And then they realize, this is not what it was, what I thought it was.
Exactly.
That's another conversation.
But we might need to have a round two.
Part two.
If you're married, engaged, if you know people who are married or engaged, we invite you guys to our gala. We are also founding members of another marriage ministry called Marriage Built to Last. And on June 27th, we are having our gala. It's called We Still Do Gala. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys join us. You can register at BIT, all lowercase, bit.ly /couples gala. Couples Gala 25. No, not 2025. It's just 25.
We are also opening it up to engaged couples.
Engaged couple.
So if you are engaged or know an engaged couple, we would love to have you guys join us. It's really amazing.
We have a great time, man. We have a great time. I just put the link in the chat. Register now, and then we could talk about payment plans afterwards. When you click on the link, even though we don't have the flyer to share with you, but the link will give you all the information. It's an amazing night, y'all. We get together as married couples, engaged couples, and we just have a great time. We have games. We and at the end of the night we renew our vows. We have a DJ. We have great food. It's going to be held at Coral House. So register. And do us a favor, share with other married people, regardless of where they are on the spectrum. One of our galas save a relationship, right? We invite them as an engaged couple. He testified before about this, and we had them on. It's through the gala they were inspired. And now, how many kids later, how many years married later? So the gala plays a really, really, really great part. So make sure you are registering if you're married or engaged. Just share it with people.
And you can find your couple accountability partner.
A lot of
you guys can share these sex talks with too.
Brooklyn say, I'm jealous 'cause I'm single. We're actually working on a singles event. Shh. Top secret. That's coming up soon as well.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
So that's coming also. You probably have a chance and opportunity to meet somebody, right? I had another announcement. If you guys did not know, we don't just do the streaming and content and things. We are also conferenciers. Is that how you say it?
Okay.
We're actually going to be guest speakers at something at Brooklyn College.
Family conference.
The family conference on June 21st. We'll share the flyer with you guys. So I say all that to say, if you have an organization, you want to invite us to be guest speakers, we gladly will accept those invitations. If you have a marriage singles ministry in your church, I even had a friend of ours who just did something in his house. He just got a whole bunch of his friends together. And then we were their guests to speak to the couples there. So there's different ways you can engage us in our services. We would love to come and share with you guys on a more intimate basis.
These talks about relationships are needed, guys.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
In July, we will have another webinar. We'll give you guys all the details. But in the meantime, we appreciate you guys. Follow us on all social media platforms. Everything is Love Talks with the Garcon. If you type it on any social media platform, except for MySpace, you'll find us and follow us, all right? On that note, we love you.
Thank you for joining Love Talks with the Garcons, where love speaks.
And we listen.
See y'all later.
Good night. Deuces.